Today, on Be Something Wonderful, my desires came pouring in when I embodied the only requirement. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Another big video here from South Africa. I want to talk about an early morning session I had with a client that he's been a client for a while, and he's just checking in. His desire now is to bring his manifesting or his reality creation to the next level. So we chatted a lot about that. And one of the things that we had talked about, and not in a session yesterday, but we were referring to it, is when we had first started talking, one of the things that he felt that held him back was this idea that some of his desires weren't good for him, or weren't of God, or weren't of a higher purpose or a higher will, or weren't God's will. And this is interesting, that the synchronicities are powerful, because there was a comment on the channel, I think it was yesterday or the day before, when someone said, you know, the way out that I manifest all my desires is that I only manifest the ones that are for the highest good, for the highest good of all. And I think this subscriber even mentioned Florence Scovel-Shinn. And I responded to this because there's a lot of questions that come up on this. And it's, in fact, this client that I talked with yesterday even brought it up, right? That as soon as we release that idea that someone's judging your desires, that there are lower desires and higher desires, ego desires and desires of God, and all the guilt that comes with that, and all the doubt and all the fear, as soon as we release that, and when I had talked to this client over really a few months, that the idea is that the only requirement is what you assume and believe as one with God, as one with that unity, as part of the whole, but one with the whole. So there are no judgments of what you want. The only question, and I hit this with him, and I hit it with several others, and I've also talked about it in a few videos. The only real question is, are you desiring it out of lack and separation, or out of love and fulfillment, or out of fulfillment in unity with the whole of God, with who you are? Because God's not going to judge any of it. So is it coming from that idea that you are one with everything and it's already within you, that God gave you the kingdom? So you're here just to call that forth, to experience it as a creator, made in God's image as a creator, right? To know yourself as source, to experience that knowing, right? You know it, but you want to now know it experientially, right? As God, as one with the whole. So I responded. I won't get too much into the response that I had last night in that comment about the day before or 2 days before of the highest good. But remember, even when you say that I only the reason I think this person was saying, the reason I'm so successful with manifesting is because it's for the highest good. I know that I'm part of the all. But even that is an ego distinction, right? The highest good, that's a term that comes from ego, because everything is good and very good. Everything is equal in the eyes of God, right? Everything is of God. So it's not really about that. The real question is, are you desiring it, needing it, thinking you're separate from God, separate from that unity, lacking something that you don't already have it within you? Or are you wanting it and desiring it from the fulfillment that you already are, from knowing that it's already within you? And that you're just now experiencing that knowing, experiencing that fulfillment that's within you, manifesting or creating or perceiving another part of the whole of that you are. That's really what we're talking about, because the whole idea, and I love Florence Scovel-Shinn, and I know what she was getting at, but even that, again, judging things as higher good or lower good, God's will or ego desires versus divine desires. Now you're making judgments, right? And now those are coming from the ego. So remember, it's not really a question whether something's an ego desire or God's desire, or your will or God's will. God wills for you what you will. God wants for you to experience the kingdom because it's already yours. God gave you everything. God wants you to experience any part of that everything that you desire to experience, right? Whether it's judged from the higher good or not so higher good, that's all ego judgment, right? So that's the whole paradox of that higher good. When this subscriber said, well, it's for the higher good, not an ego obsession. Well, that's the ego saying that. Do you see it? So I really want to hit this. And this client that I talked to that we're really taking their manifesting to the next level, he was saying that was really his breakthrough, where he dropped all the doubt and fear and guilt around his desires, right? This is when he said his SP blew up his phone, when money started coming in, his job was taking off, things were just falling in place. Once he released the idea that there's some higher good that he has to meet, there's some outside source, outside power that has to give the okay and the stamp of approval on what he wants to manifest and how much he wants and how much of that good that he can experience. Now he knows that there is no limit to the good that he can experience, and he wants to step it up, right? So whether you manifest something or not is not determined by any power out there or outside of you. This is really what we got to in this client's session yesterday, reinforcing what he already knows, and that's what he embodied, right? Because remember, what's the only requirement? I am that. It's the only requirement. I am, everything's within me. That the realization, the awareness of your I amness, that everything's already within you, that's the only requirement. There are no other requirements that it has to be a certain desire and not an ego desire or a divine desire, God's will or not your will, or it's not the highest good, it's something lower. None of that. Those are all judgments made in the 3D duality or relativity of the 3D world. Whether you manifest something or not is not determined by any power out there outside of you. It's all determined by your assumptions. So even for that subscriber that wrote that her success or their success about manifesting things from the higher good, well, that is true for them. So they create a reality of manifesting things that they believe are higher good, that are not an ego obsession, according to them. So yes, you create your own reality. If that's your assumption, if that's your belief, if that's your truth, that's what you'll manifest, that's what you'll create in your world. But all of that is still pointing to some other source, some other power, some other judge that's judging this stuff, right? There's only you. There's no out there, right? And so this bogus assumption must be for the higher good of all. Well, not my individual ego obsession. Well, that's your assumption and belief, right? So that's the reality you'll create. Therefore, you create a reality where you only manifest things that you believe are for the highest good. And ones that are not, you don't. Right? This is really, the session I had with this client yesterday, this is really where we were able to release that resistance that he had with his desires. Wrestling with whether they're the right ones or the wrong ones, or whether he's making the right decision or the wrong decision. All that matters is that you line up with your assumption of what you want. Assume what you want from that I amness, from knowing that the kingdom's already yours. God already gave you everything. Knowing that it's already complete. It's already complete within you. Creation's finished, right? The blueprint's there. You are all potential, and all that potential exists. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to embody. There are no other requirements, and that's not even a requirement, because it's yours anyway, whether you realize it or not, whether you believe it or not. It's already yours. God gave you the kingdom, right? But as you assume it and call it forth, now you can enjoy it experientially, which you already know and what's already really known, right? So by that higher you, right? So So the judgment in term ego obsession is just another ego obsession, another ego creation. Do you see it? The ego, remember, the ego is just a thought system. It's a thought of separation from the unity of God. It's a thought of duality. It's a thought of relativity. It's a thought about me and them, right? Here and there, right? All of that. It's all separation when there's only unity. So, and I think this subscriber said, I'm part of a whole. This was their realization, right? So it has to be for the highest good. But I want to go further with that. You're not part of a whole. You're part of the whole of God, the whole of creation. You are the whole of all that is. You're the whole of the whole. You're everything. There's only one source, one power, one wholeness, one unity, one oneness. So you are that whole. You are that oneness. Remember, I and the Father are one. The Father is greater than I. I am is the implication. Not me, not the little me. I am is greater than I am because I'm one with it. But that Father is greater. So that power, yes, it's greater, that beingness, the whole of that beingness. But you are all that power. You're not part of that power. You're not some of that power. You're not a little bit of that knowing. You're not some of that knowing. You're all that knowing. You're all that power. You're all that presence of God. The highest good, or God's will, is that not that you don't be content with anything less than the kingdom. That's God's will. Is that you don't be content with anything less than everything you want, everything you desire, because the kingdom's yours, right? There's no higher will or higher good denying you anything, right? You can only deny or limit yourself. There's no one limiting you. There's no one making you little, right? Denying you of your desires. By believing you are anything less than God's son, that's what God's saying here, right? God's will, or the highest good, is that God wills that you don't be content with anything less than everything. Hear this. This comes from A Course in Miracles. Really, all the spiritual greats talk about that. That you don't be content with anything less than everything. In other words, it's not coming from lack or separation. It's coming from that everything's within you, right? By believing you are anything less than God's son, made in the image of God, perfect whole with all power, all knowing, all presence of God. But by believing that you are anything less than that, then you become content with littleness, content with something different, right? That's what we're talking about. So what's the message here? The message is it's already everything is yours, right? But you can only have an experience of something less by believing that you're less than God's son, that you weren't made in the image of God, that you're not perfect, that you're not whole, that you're not all power, that you're not all knowing, you're not all presence of God, right? Remember, wherever God is at all, the whole of God must be. Wherever you are at all, the whole of God must be there. So all power is within you, all knowing, all presence, all desires. And so God is not willing that his son be content with less than everything. A Course in Miracles, I love this. So powerful, one of my favorite, there's a lot in Course in Miracles, right? It's deep, it's rich, it's big, but this is powerful. It's not that some desires are ego desires and others are the higher good of God. Remember, God said it's good and very good. And God meant everything, right? All of his creations. Remember, God created you, so you must be good. You must be perfect. You must be whole. Everything must be within you. God doesn't make mistakes. God doesn't make things that are imperfect, right? Only we do that. And by believing that we're something less than God, by believing that there are lower desires and higher good and lower good, right? God doesn't condemn or deprive you because God never judges you, right? God never judges you. The only question is, are you desiring things from lack and separation from the whole? Lack and separation from the whole of who you are. You're feeling lack and separation from the whole, from God, or are you desiring from the fulfillment and unity with the whole of who you are? Hear this distinction. The only question is, are you desiring things from lack and separation from the whole of who you are? or from the fulfillment in unity, in love with the whole of who you are, right? That's why A Course in Miracles says, do not be content with littleness, right? God wants you to know the magnitude of your I am, that you are that I am. I am that I am. You are one with that wholeness. You are one with that unity of God. Everything you want or desire is within you. And God already gave it to you. It's already yours. That's always the message, right? So what are we here? We're here to know that experientially in 3D reality, to experience it, right? To call things forth in the duality, in the world of relativity, in this horizontal access or this horizontal experience, right? To feel the vertical nature of our unity with God, right? To know our vertical nature, that we're always vertical, but we're having that horizontal experience. So every decision you make stems from what you think you are and represents the value you put upon yourself. A Course in Miracles talking about self-concept here. Putting the self-concept, but what does really Course in Miracles want you to know? The only self-concept. You don't have to work on it. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to improve with you. That, right? There's no desires that are less and less than others. There's no higher good and lower good. You are the good. It's all you. You, I am. You are it's the magnitude of your true identity. That's what A Course in Miracles is getting at. That the magnitude of who you really are. It's not the desire or the decision that matters, right? Remember, it doesn't matter what decision you make or what you're desiring. It matters that it's all from the awareness of who you really are, from the magnitude of your I am, right? When you say I am, that's absolute conviction. No one can, it can't be denied. So when you're asking, like, how do I feel it? How do I know it? How do I be convinced? How do I feel that conviction? It's already there. Just by you declaring, I am that I am. Just from feeling your I amness, that magnitude's already within you, right? The magnitude of I am, of that. Or is it the littleness of I am not? That's the real distinction. Either you're knowing the magnitude of I am that, or the littleness of I am not that. I want it and I need it. I'm not that. That's why I want it. That's why I need it. I'm feeling the littleness of who I'm not. Right? You can't possibly be that. But you can have that experience. You can have the horizontal experience of feeling you're little. Right? To feeling that you're deprived. To feeling that everything's not within you. Remember, it's not the desire or the decision that matters. It's what it implies. Does it imply the magnitude of I am that already? Or does it imply the littleness of I am not that, but I need it and I want it and something or someone is depriving me of it? And maybe it's the guilt I feel that this desire is too big for me or too good for me, or I'm not worthy of it, or it's not for the highest good of all. Remember, you are the all. There's nothing out there. That you are the all, the unity. So when you desire it, it's the highest good. Right? But it only comes from that when it's coming from that knowing of your I amness, of that already completeness. Right? Not the thought of separation, not the feeling of separation. You don't have to, and here's what A Course in Miracles says, and this is really powerful. This is how I want to wrap this up today. You don't have to strive for it because you have it. Course in Miracles. You don't have to strive for anything. Right? It's not about that. This is really what we got into with the client yesterday, who's really stepping up his reality creation, his experience. Let me say this, because remember, we talk about manifesting, we talk about creating reality, but really it's all already created. The potential's already within you. Everything's done. It's already there. It's about perceiving more of the unity with God of who you are. The more of that 99.9% that you don't see. Well, my voice is getting a little hoarse here, guys. A lot of talking. So I just want you to know, you don't have to strive for it because you have it. You don't have to strive for it because you are it. I am that I am. My desires came rushing or pouring in when I embodied the only requirement. Again, what's the only requirement? It's not that it has to be a certain desire of God and not of the ego. That's just the ego talking, making that distinction. It's not that it has to be something of the highest good, implying that there is a lower good. There's only good. There's only love. There's only source. Everything comes from source. So the only question is, are you embodying the I amness, the magnitude of who you really are? That you're not separate from anything. Are you embodying that the kingdoms are yours? That God wants you to only be content with everything? That's what you want to embody. When you're embodying that, now you know. Now you are creating from that knowing. You're perceiving more of who you really are. My desires came rushing in. Phone blew up. Money came in. He had a list of things that have been happening in his life, right? From what he would say are big and small, but he gets the idea now they're all big. They're all good. They're all God, right? There's nothing lower or less than any others. My desires came pouring in when I embodied the only requirement. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the channel and on the videos. And even the comments that I bring here or that I respond to, guys, that I just want to kind of flesh out some of the understanding. Again, it's all out of love. It's all just so we all level up together. Don't forget to visit our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, where you can join that to share insight and guidance or ask for insight and guidance from others. You can also visit us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. We have a membership channel with additional content, lots of videos there now, and some live streams. And we're going to have another live stream coming on the membership channel soon, and also another membership channel membership video while we're traveling here in South Africa. Guys, with great love. Tomorrow we're off to Victoria Falls. So that's going to be quite cool. There'll be another video and some more content coming from there. With great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, creators, this is Tom Kearin with Be Something Wonderful. We'll see you soon.